Welcome to the 902 Podcast, the official podcast of the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm Captain John Vick, and I want to thank you for listening. This podcast will give you an inside look at LSO with topics and guests to discuss public safety issues impacting Lancaster County. Be sure to subscribe for highlights on news, cases, and the people working for you at LSO. You can also follow us across social media at LSO Nebraska on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Welcome to the 902 Podcast. We're in studio today with Chief Deputy Ben Houchin. Hey, Ben.
Hey, happy Friday.
And Sarah Sump is back on the show with us. Thanks for being here. The sheriff is sheriffing.
No,
he's not sheriffing. Just off today.
He's just off.
Okay, enjoying the weather.
His bride came back from her travels.
Super. All right.
Maybe he's planting a tree on this Arbor Day.
Well, the weather could be better for tree planting, but yeah.
True.
We've had Arbor Day in the office. Court services was in training. They do that a couple times a year because court's not in session, so that worked out nicely. But the people that we have to talk to today are the newest deputies at the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office. We're super glad that you guys are here with us, just in general. But when you walked in the door today, you didn't know that you were going to be on the podcast. So that's, I guess, it's part of the gig of being new. So, but I did mention before we came on the air, at least a few of you have been through the taser training recently, and mentioned that maybe you'd rather get tased again than do this. So we'll keep it painless and get you through it, but appreciate you guys being here.
I don't know. Watching them go through it, I don't think they'd want to do it again.
We'll see.
Ben, we should get you on tape doing it. It'd be so much fun.
Oh, I told you my story.
I know, but now they just use tape. It sounds way better.
Yeah, no, I got shot, and then when they pulled the prongs out, it broke. And then they had to take pliers and yank it out of my back.
We haven't done a taser episode yet, so I mean, I think
Yes.
maybe that's in the works.
We can figure out who I'm upset with, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
Maybe when Olivia and Jared come back from NLETC, we can have them interviewed after the fact and do a whole taser episode.
That you're shaking your heads, maybe. Okay. Well, we've got 4 deputies. 2 of you have just been to the academy and graduated and back, and then 2 brand new deputies that are on your way to the academy next week. So we'll just go down the list, but we've got Deputy Rick Fernandez, 902219, for some of our people that listen to the show that may have worked for us in the past. You can kind of hear the badge numbers as we go on. Deputy Jake Bartosh, 902220. Deputy Olivia Cruzy, 902221. And Deputy Jared Sidoris, 902222. So if you're listening out there and you're remembering maybe your old badge number, you can kind of see where we're at in the progression of things. But again, thank you guys for being here. And Rick, you've got the mic first, so I guess I'm looking at you first. But help our audience know a little bit about you guys. Where are you from? Where'd you go to school, or what drew you to law enforcement?
Yes, Rick Fernandez. I'm from Utah. I moved here to Lincoln last year, along with my family. My parents moved here a few years ago. We've been here visiting. We really like it, so we just decided to join them here. I went to school. I have a bachelor's degree in business management, and I went to school at Western Governors University. What drew me into career in law enforcement, just change of pace, moving here from Utah. Just wanted to try out something different, something new. I've been working in the manufacturing industry for all my adult life, and I feel like I couldn't do that for another 15, 20 more years, so I decided to go with law enforcement, change of pace, like I said, something new, something different. Very excited about that.
Awesome. What was it about the sheriff's office specifically that drew you here versus any other office you could have worked at?
I've heard a lot of great things about LSO, not just here in the area, but statewide. I've heard a lot of good things, in the law enforcement world. So I did apply at several agencies, LSO being one of them, of course. I applied for the Nebraska State Patrol, as well as Lincoln Police Department. But like I said, I just decided to go with Lancaster because a lot of the good things that I've heard, and I live here in the Lincoln area, and so
Awesome.
just looking for a great career going forward, and I feel like this is the best fit for me.
Sounds great. Well, we're glad you're here. Jared, you're next.
Sounds good.
So Jared Sidoris, where are you from, and how did you arrive to us?
I'm actually from Lincoln here. I grew up from Lincoln my entire life.
Okay.
Never lived anywhere else. I attended Nebraska Wesleyan University, studied criminal justice there, got my
Yep.
bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and then from there I kind of didn't know what to do out of college. I applied to a couple places. I didn't get on anywhere, so I ended up doing construction for a year, and then I started working at the jail, Lancaster County Jail, for the last 4 years, and then I wasn't getting tired of it there, but I was like, I need to do a change, and
Yeah.
decided to keep trying, and then I applied to a couple agencies, with LSO being one of them, and with working at the jail, I dealt with a lot of the guys from the sheriff's office already.
Cool.
So it was kind of a just talking to them and learning more about LSO was my number one choice and my overall place I wanted to be at. And
Awesome.
It was a good choice for me.
Well, being a fellow alum from Nebraska Wesleyan, I'm sure he's going to do just excellent out there.
Yeah, I hope so. That's
I don't know why
Big
not.
shoes to follow in.
I don't know if I can.
If you look on the plaque, though, you will see top student, and there's be my name. John, is your name on that too?
It is.
Yeah, I thought so.
It is.
There's a little pressure for you guys to do that.
A lot of bit of pressure.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you're here. Jake, you're up next on the hot mic. So, Jake Bartosh, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Arlington, Nebraska, just a couple miles north of Omaha. And
Okay.
I went to college at Northeast Community College, did 2 years there, got my associate's degree, met a lot of cool people. Then moved here to Lincoln, and I did a semester at UNL, and then I got hired on here. So I'm hoping once
Awesome.
I'm done with FTO to get back into school and take some credits.
Cool. Anything about LSO in particular that that led you here versus somewhere else?
Yeah, ever since I was little, I wanted to get into law enforcement, and my little brain said, hey, what would be cooler than working in the capital county of the state you're living in? So I did some research and just looked at the website, and you guys looked amazing, looked like the place I want to work at. Just geography, you get that big city life, you also get that small town life, so I really enjoy that about Lancaster County.
Awesome. Well, Sarah, good job on the website.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paying off.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
Good, good.
Good. A shameless plug for joinlso.com if anybody out there is listening and wants to learn more about us. But awesome, Jake, we're glad you're here. Olivia, you are next. So Olivia, where are you from? How did you get here?
I'm actually from Hickman, so a little south of here.
Yep.
Grew up there, lived there my whole life. Never been outside of Lancaster, really.
Okay.
Then I went to college for a year down at SEC in Beatrice. Did a year of soccer there and everything. And then I've always just wanted to give back to the community, and honestly, I think it'd be fun. So
Yeah.
I kind of jumped in with both feet.
Awesome.
Hope for the best. I applied here and only here.
Yeah. So we're kind of being in Hickman, we're your home law enforcement
Yeah.
agency then. So,
Yeah, always see
okay.
you guys patrolling around, and
Awesome.
I've only heard great things from people in the fire department in Hickman and everything. So I was like, you know what?
Cool.
Take the leap of faith.
Well, we're excited to have all four of you carry on that tradition and doing everything that we can to set you up for success. So we've got a couple of you going through kind of what we call our mini academy after you got back from the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center. A couple of you are in our onboarding cycle, getting ready to go to the academy. But all of you have been through our application process to become a deputy, and it's not short. It's not like just getting a job at the gas station, where you apply and fill out an application and you're hired the next day. What was the thing that surprised you guys most about the application process to be a deputy?
Yeah, I think the thing that surprised me the most, going to college for 2 years and being in the criminal justice field, they're always like, yeah, the application process, it's going to be tough. It's going to be long. I didn't expect it to be too bad, and it wasn't too bad. But, you really got to thoroughly get through it. you got to make sure if you're really passionate about this career field, you got to set yourself up for success. Don't be coming into the office wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt, just little stuff like that. You want to be in a suit and tie. You want to look really good.
Good tip.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the most surprising thing was overall just the amount of time and the amount of interviews, which is a good thing. It really kind of set me up to saying, yeah, this is like what I want to do. This is the place I want to commit to. So
Yeah, we talk about it sometimes, those of us on this side of the table that have done the hiring thing, and you're always going to put your best foot forward on your first day. So, if you show up in a ratty t-shirt and jeans, if that's the best you got, where else are we going to go from there, right? So we're always looking for people that are going to put their best foot forward, be professional, be put together, make sure that you're presenting yourself in a professional manner. So yeah, super important. Anybody else surprises from the application process? What did you find the most challenging about it? Anybody got one on that?
I'd say one of the most challenging things was like the anticipation.
Okay.
Going from one step to the next. Like
Waiting to hear,
not knowing what to expect. For example, like the polygraph, I've never taken the polygraph before, so going into that was kind of it was a new experience, nerve-wracking. And then even after passing that, like you still have to do your psych eval, and I've never done one of those either. So it was just the change and the new things, trying new things. To me, that was probably one of the most.
Yeah, another difference, Ben, about law enforcement that psych, polygraph, physical examination, not something you do for every job.
I tell you, sitting on the other side of the polygraph is a lot more entertaining than sitting on the side you guys were at.
little less stress.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I love doing polygraphs. You got to learn a lot about a lot of people.
Yeah.
So tell some of our listeners, because there are some pre-tests even, like you have to take the SCORE test, you have to take a physical test. Like, how do you prepare for those? Do you prepare for them? What do you do for that?
For the written test, actually, my wife helped me on a little bit. She bought me this like little online book course thing that helped me prepare for like the reading portion, the English portion.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot more on the math portion, but I didn't realize the test I took had math on it. It did not have math on it, so I was like, oh.
Oh, we lucked out.
Yeah, I lucked out there. Other than that, I just kind of practiced, started reading a little more.
Once you're out of school for a while, it's hard.
Yeah, it was. It was difficult for sure. Not being in school for the last 6-7 years and then trying to do it all over again. It was a change of pace for sure.
Some of you are a little bit closer to that time in your life, right?
Yeah, I was in and out.
If you want a challenging career, a career where you can make a difference in your life, your family's life, and the lives of those in your community, come and join the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office. To learn more or to apply, visit us online at www.joinlso.com.
How long did your process take? Like Jake or Rick, from start to finish, do you remember about how long it took from when you applied to when you started?
Yeah, that was a surprising thing for me because, again, I'm new to law enforcement, but I would say it took around 6 months from start to finish. I think I remember applying around June or July.
Okay.
And by the time it was official, it was in December.
Yeah. Anything you guys wish you would have known when you applied that, being on the other side of it now you do know? Or anything that, what would you tell somebody that's thinking about applying if you got a friend or somebody that you're talking to?
The one thing that's impressive to us is like when you get into the interview is if you know something about us. And that's one thing I always tell people who are interested. Go to the webpage, go look, and know what we do and kind of know what you're getting into. And I always really strongly suggest people do a ride-along because, when I became a cop, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be a little bit, but there was a lot of things,
Did you guys get a chance to do ride-alongs? Okay, a few of you shaking heads yes. Okay. Well, if you haven't yet, you're going to get to. So you got that to look forward to. But how about the two of you that just got back from the academy and a couple of your fellow recruit deputies are also have these questions. So what's a day in the life like at the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center?
Typical week, Monday through Friday, but to be specific, for an average day would be go to class in the mornings. Class usually start around 8 in the morning. Lunch is around 11, around noon. And then classes go as late as sometimes 5 p.m. or they can go as late as 10 p.m. depending on if there's other activities involved.
Yeah. Different stuff. So Jake, with being out in Grand Island, that's where the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center's at. It's been a minute since I've been out there too, but is it still, you kind of get back Sunday night, or, you start most weeks Sunday night out there and then you leave Friday afternoon?
Yeah, so we started our commute. We like to leave Lincoln here around 5.
On Sundays?
Yep, on Sundays, and then just had to be there by 8. We were usually there by 7, maybe 6:30.
Yeah.
Sunday was kind of just a chill, prepare for the week type day. So if you had any studying to get done, do that. Get any resources you need printed off. But,
yeah,
you get to campus, and if you didn't have too much to do, you just kind of hang out, go work out, play some basketball.
Yeah.
Now, you lost some weight there.
I have, yeah. Right now, close to 28 pounds since I initially got on with LSO. So
good for you. That's awesome.
Now, do they do room inspections still?
They do. We tried to figure out the routine on that. We thought initially it was just Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Till they switched
12,
it up on you?
Yep. Week 12, they proved our theory wrong.
Okay.
We never failed any room inspections. There were some people that did, but I like to think that I had a pretty good roommate who was pretty clean, so I appreciate that, Rick.
Were you guys roommates?
We were, yeah.
Oh, it's because they usually don't do that.
Yeah, no.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that worked out good then.
Everybody failed our first one when we went. I mean, it
just by
did not
design.
did not matter how clean your room was. You were going to fail.
Yeah. Well, what did you guys find the most challenging about the academy?
In my opinion, I think the legal perspective on the test. I think, they get that very first month in there. They set you up with all the legal exams.
Yeah.
They want to figure out if you're in it.
Yeah.
They want to make sure you're studying. They want to make sure you're there and willing to learn. So the legal exams were the most challenging by far, in my opinion.
Seems like it's kind of like taking chemistry in college. It's
Exactly.
like they're gonna find out who's here to succeed, and obviously you guys did. We're glad that you did. So, but yeah, even looking back at me, it's been almost 20 years. But that was the thing, and you guys that are yet to go, I knew it was law enforcement, right? So you have to know some things about the law, but they have attorneys teach these classes out there. I think Dave Stoltz is still teaching legal classes out at Grand Island.
Yep.
And, just the depth that he goes through as far as all of the criminal elements, all the constitutional law, feels like you're in law school a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it almost feels like you're taking the bar. I can't say that from experience, but I mean, he's a great teacher. He really is. We learned so much from him.
Yeah, for sure.
So how many hours a night do you think you spent studying? Because sometimes I think people don't realize that they're going to have to study when they get out there.
Yeah, on some of those certain legal exams.
Sometimes you don't study enough, do you?
Yeah, no. 2-3 hours depending on when the exam was, and I might hand the mic over here to Rick because I know Rick spent a lot of time studying.
Yeah, in my case, my brain is not as sharp as Jake's, so I'm a little bit older, so it's harder for me to retain information. But
what would you say was your favorite thing about the academy?
I would say the favorite thing for me was the driving,
Okay.
the EVOC.
Oh, really? Okay. So, I've been out there, so I can picture that in my mind when you're talking about that. But tell people kind of what the facilities are like, what cars you driving, what's the track like out there?
So the track, maybe you can explain it better, Jake. I think it's about a mile long track. It does kind of like an 8 loop.
Yeah. So it's not like a NASCAR track. It's not just a big oval. there's different twists and turns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the type of cars we have out there are Dodge Chargers. There's Ford Explorers. There's Ford, Crown Vics.
Yeah.
Crown Victoria. But yeah, I mean, I was going upwards to maybe 75, 80 miles an hour at certain points.
Yeah.
And then there's also a parking course where we're also timed and we have to do specific maneuvers and parking, reverse parking or parallel parking. That part maybe not so fun as the fast driving, but I would say, that was probably my favorite part of the academy.
Jake, how about you?
Yeah, I think the favorite part of Academy for me was just the camaraderie and meeting everyone. There's some really awesome guys, awesome gals out there. And you're all going into the same field and you can all relate, especially with the academy. I mean, you guys are all stressing at 10:30 at night on the day of or the day before a test, and we're getting pack studying in. And I think it's kind of just a special bond with spending 15 weeks with a bunch of other dudes and guys, and you really get to form a special bond.
Yeah. Do you still talk to anybody from your class since you've been back?
Yeah, I mean,
I know you and Rick talk, but
yeah. So,
besides that,
so we actually are planning on maybe going out to a paintball place here.
Oh, awesome!
Maybe this weekend. So
very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question that's on everybody's mind is, how is the food at NLETC? How did you find it?
Don't eat the chicken.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. And that might attribute to some of my weight loss, but
oh, okay. Well, hey.
But I'll let Rick speak on it.
Yeah, my personal experience was I didn't do so well with the chicken.
Okay.
I would typically skip breakfast. Breakfast is actually pretty good there, but I just couldn't get up that early.
Okay.
And then
they still do 3 meals a day though, right? I mean, you got breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes.
Right. Unless it's the weekend, then you go home.
Now, did you guys have to PT before breakfast?
No, typically no.
Okay.
Wow. That's changed a lot.
Yeah, a little bit.
There was a couple of days where we ended up joining the State Patrol guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do an earlier workout.
See, and I don't know. I'm thinking back. It wasn't ever bad. Sometimes it doesn't have to be good. It just has to be different, and sometimes it just gets a little bit routine. I don't know. So, but I tell you what, now after having been, Ben and I've been to the National Academy with the FBI, and it's kind of nice to have people cook for you, even if it's just okay. It's sure nice to just have a food there waiting for you.
And not have to fork out a ton of money. Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
It was like, I pay those bills, so I'm sad to hear that it's not delightful.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to see that you guys survived and that you're doing well. But anything that you would tell, I mean, you've got a couple people in this room that are headed out there to Grand Island in just a matter of days. So anything that you would tell somebody that, inside tips and tricks that you wish you would have known?
And like Jake has mentioned, just make sure you study up on the law classes. Those are very important, obviously, in law enforcement.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of material to cover. And so just be very cautious about the tests, too. The tests are not that easy. So, yeah, just study as much as you can and don't rush through the test, I would say. Yeah.
Jake, anything?
This is going to sound kind of cheesy, but learn to love to be uncomfortable. I mean, when you're out there, you're not at home. You're going to have your family that's missing you. You're going to miss your family, your friends. Learn to be uncomfortable. Go work out. When no one else is putting in the work, go do it. Study. Make sure you're studying and preparing for tests. But besides that, that's probably the biggest advice I can give you guys.
Yeah, and speaking personally, there was a point at which I can remember this. It was like week 12 or something at the academy that you're going through the motions and you're like, oh, I got to pass this thing. I got to pass that thing. at some point you get to a point where you realize, oh man, I'm going to make it. Like,
Yeah.
But then is, at least for me, was when reality sunk in of like, I got to actually like do this. Like before I was worried about, am I going to pass this test? Am I going to score high enough on this thing? But the test here in a little bit is, do I make it home at night? Right. And am I doing the right thing? And am I doing things the right way? And am I doing them safely? And so for me, I wish I would have stressed a little bit less about how I was going to score on this thing or that thing. But I guess being uncomfortable with failure a little bit. I mean, we don't want you to like flunk out, but also like taking every opportunity that you can while you're in that training environment to learn all of the lessons that you can yourself, learn from the people around you. Because when you start getting to the end of that training cycle and you guys are about to go out on the road now in field training, and then you guys that are heading to the academy, those moments and those opportunities to train when you can hit the reset button at the end, even though it doesn't seem like it when you're in the moment, those are fleeting, right? And those are very important moments to take advantage of and learn everything that you can. So that was something that I remember just from my experience of having that realization of, okay, I'm going to make it, but I gotta just soak up every last bit of training, instruction and just learning as I can, because I got to go back and do this job for real in a couple of weeks. So,
and the one thing I would stress is you're just beginning to do your learning.
Never stop.
No, it doesn't. And for the next 3 years, you won't feel overly confident in everything, because it just takes so long we're responsible for so much and knowing so much. And, it's not, we're just making these widgets. I mean, you're doing one
complex stuff.
Yeah. You're going to an accident, then you're going to a domestic, and then you're going to a coroner report, and doing those things. And there's so many different things you have to learn. And I just stress, we are lucky enough that we have some finances to get people training. And once you're done with FTO and doing that, I so strongly suggest that you look for that training and continue on, because it takes a long time to feel comfortable at this job. And I really probably should say never get comfortable. Always keep learning, and don't ever get lackadaisical on things, because that's when you can get really hurt with somebody else.
Well, we really appreciate you guys taking the time. Good luck to you on field training for the two of you, and good luck to you guys heading out to NLETC. We're proud of you guys already, and we're counting on you to finish the next step.
We'll forget about you for a while because you're out there.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought of another question. Yes. Can you splice it back in?
I can.
So any that you guys are back now, your families, would there be anything that they would say to other families or to these guys' families that you're leaving for so many weeks, like tips that they might have? Or, I mean, you leave loved ones back home. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think the hardest part for my family was just trying to get in a routine. Like my fiance, she was so used to having me at our apartment. I primarily cook the meals, so that was a big adjustment for her. Mm-hmm. But just being on your own, going grocery shopping, just small stuff like that was just kind of a hard adjustment. But
Rick, how about you?
In my case, we do have the option sometimes to stay over there, but I would say go back home, enjoy your weekend. If you do have some studying time, fine, but also just make the time to be with your family, enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
Because it's like I said, it's kind of brutal Monday through Friday. So.
Yeah. Very good. Awesome. Anybody else? Good. Okay. Well, hey, thank you guys again. We're going to let you get back on about your training day, and good luck to you on your next steps. Okay.
Thank you.
That is all the time we have for today's episode of the 902 Podcast. We appreciate you listening. Be sure to follow and subscribe to the 902 Podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. If you have additional questions about employment opportunities at the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office, be sure to check out joinlso.com, where you'll learn about various positions that are available for careers and also how to apply. Also, reach out to us on social media. We're across Facebook, X, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, at LSO Nebraska. And if you'd like to send us an email, shoot it to lso@lancaster.ne.gov. Thanks for listening.